race. Matching Blue Thunder and Gravedigger was all for the big blue oval camp when Gravedigger's transmission knocks Pablo Huffaker out early and Tony Farrell rolls on to a huge racing victory at Ford Field in Detroit. Farrell grabs the big racing trophy. If he can win freestyle, it's the huge double-down trophy he'll take home. Freestyle from a jam-packed Ford Field is next on Speed. Who's ready for Monster Jam? Hold on, baby! Here goes the camper! Tom Mentz, 7th World Championship. Dennis Anderson is the World Racing Champion. The fans are fired up at one of the most amazing facilities in the entire world. Welcome to Ford Field, and tonight it's the site of what's going to be an awesome freestyle performance from the stars of Monster Jam. You've got the best seat in the house right here on Speed. Hi again, everyone. I'm Scott Douglas. I'll be joining Ken Stout in the booth in just a moment, but had to come out here with these fans who have supported Monster Jam like very few others for well over 2 decades, and they're looking forward to what could be one of the freestyle events of the year. Yes, the world champion Tom Mentz is here trying to defend in Max D. Pablo Huffaker brings Gravedigger to town, and oh yes, the Michigan factor, the Detroit-based Blue Thunder with Tony Farrell. And how about Team Scream? Jimmy Kohler, the former world champion, the Avenger, his teammate Chris Bergeron and Brutus, they've got over 1,000 fans here just to see and cheer for them. Let's go inside because the action is heating up here on Speed.
Thanks, Scott. Let's show everybody our field of trucks here. Some great competitors, including Lee O'Donnell from Lebanon, New Jersey, and a truck sponsored by the Fox, a local affiliate here in the Detroit area. Jerry Wiggins will be behind the wheel of the Stone Crusher coming out of North Carolina. It's been a while since he's been in these trucks. They've all changed. Steve Sims will be driving the Pure Adrenaline machine. Made his speed debut during the racing segment here at Ford Field. Now we'll go freestyling. And Aaron Basil behind the wheel of the Blacksmith. Those guys have been working very hard as Gravedigger had some problems, and he's a teammate. Courtney Jolly in a brand new Pastrana 199 had a great effort in racing. We'll find out if she can duplicate that in freestyle. And Chris Bergeron and Brutus, they had to fix a water pump inside of that truck. We'll find out if he can come out and put it on its lid. And the Air Force Afterburner, Damon Bradshaw. Nobody loves to fly any higher than this guy. And Carl Van Horn, of course, a veteran. He'll be in another brand new truck. This is called T-Max. He comes out of Camden, North Carolina. The Avenger, of course, Jim Kohler, Mr. Excitement, part of Team Scream that Scott spoke of earlier. He'll come out and try to get a win, and Tony Farrell in the Blue Thunder is looking to double down here as he took all the awards in racing. Pablo Huffaker has been putting his crew to the test. They've already broken 2 transmissions, but they're working on it and trying to get it to come back. Keep your eyes on the Gravedigger. It'll be a hard-fought battle if he can win. And, of course, Tom Mentz. He had an uncharacteristic first-round loss in racing and now looks to redeem himself in maximum destruction. A lot of exciting Monster Jam action coming your way. Don't touch that dial. Monster Jam Freestyle from Ford Field in Detroit, brought to you by the new F-Series Super Duty, built to work harder for you, and by the United States Air Force, celebrating 60 years of innovation in air, space, and cyberspace. They are on their feet and ready for freestyle at Ford Field. Scott Douglas and Ken Stout in the booth. Brenda Price will be on the track to cover all the action for you happening in the pits. And should things get a little crazy on this wild freestyle course, which we fully expect. You're looking at the lineup. Again, it will be Gravedigger and Max D with the pressure of coming out last. But let's see who's going to raise the bar before they get there. It starts with Lee O'Donnell driving for local Detroit radio station, The Fox. O'Donnell in freestyle is really still kind of learning his craft, Ken. It's expected, and we've seen it, that he's a lot more accomplished as a racer because of his off-road background, but he's taken the freestyle pretty well. He's in and out of the truck the past 3 or 4 years. Not a whole lot of seat time, and that's what you need to be a good freestyler. You have to be in these trucks all the time. They don't get a chance to test anywhere. They just put on the shows out here. That's their only seat time. He spends a lot of time racing. He's an accomplished racer in off-road division, but when it comes to monster trucks, he's relatively new to the game still. You said it best, so he's getting better and better every time he comes out here.
Nice sky wheelie maneuver. Again, there are 3 judges. Each one of the scorecard 1 to 10 being the totals, 10 the tops, of course, so 30 would be a perfect score here. You got to look at the clock in the upper left-hand side of the screen, counting down to 0. It started at 90 seconds. If you don't fill the clock, the judges will deduct at least a point from your score. Other than that, freestyle scoring is all about you getting the fans and the judges moves like that. You go after the big stuff, you attack it, the judges will reward you.
Good stuff. Putting 1,500 horsepower to work inside of that truck. It yanked up the front end a couple of times. Just think it's a good power. Nice.
Slap wheelie executed by Lee O'Donnell in the Fox radio station's ride here in Detroit. He will fill the clock. So it should be a solid score, and that would be fair because it's been solid, if not necessarily spectacular, in this freestyle from Lee O'Donnell. For a guy who hasn't done many of these, this is a pretty daggone good run, Ken. Nicely done.
Lee O'Donnell, 106.7 Fox truck, and right here, boy, he airs it out. That's going for it, Scott.
When you look at the judges, and again, we pick fans to be the judges because freestyle's always been about the fans. Sometimes they want the more spectacular things, but I'll say this about what Lee did. Technically, that was a very sound run. He hit everything. He worked in the extra moves like the donuts we saw, got the slap wheelies and the sky wheelies. And, hey, the judges do reflect it. Pretty good scores there. It's a total of 22. So Lee O'Donnell puts up a number that somebody's going to have to get strong to beat. Here's a guy who can get wild when he wants to. We're going old school. The old Mopar Magic driver, Gary Wiggins, back in the saddle again, now driving the Stone Crusher board.
We'll find out how he does here. He actually had a pretty tough run, and it looks like it might have broke already. Last time he was in Pontiac, he had a tough run, and it looks like he's not going to get any breaks here.
Yeah, the Motor City not working out too well for Gary Wiggins. That thing shut right down. Now, they're freezing the clock to see if it can refire, so he'll still have his time if he can fire the truck back up. The problem is, he's only got about a minute to get it going. Otherwise, they'll bring out the heavy equipment and pull him away. And this is certainly not what Gary Wiggins wanted. He's got it fired back up. So let's see if he can continue. Now, once he hits another obstacle, the clock will restart. And this is the same way they'll treat every truck should it stall for a minute. They give them the chance to try and refire. Love the sound of the power from the Stone Crusher Ford. And certainly Gary Wiggins, the guy not afraid of anything. He'll attack everything that's on this course.
Rear engine truck, you can see the zoomies pointing down to the ground. Of course, creates that unique sound that you're speaking of, Scott. Wow, man, I'm telling you, it sounded like he could have pulled another gear right there. He's got it revved, he's got it tacked out. It's about as far as it'll go.
Yeah, I'm not sure that's the sound that he was looking for there. Now things are back to being a little smoother. I think you're absolutely right. But now you can see there's still 40 seconds on the clock because they did freeze it when he had his problems earlier to give him the full opportunity to get the run in.
Nice job there, up and over the biggest stack out there on the floor. I don't know if he's maintaining, though, with the Lee O'Donnell just yet.
Great job on those donuts from Gary Wiggins.
Yeah, he just picked up the pace, didn't he?
He really
The
did.
fans love him. I don't care how many times they see donuts, they always want to see another one.
Gary Wiggins runs, stops right there, and he left a few seconds on the clock, but it shouldn't be enough to really hurt his score. Let's look at the replay, Ken.
Up over that big stack, on the gas, kind of tipped the nose back down, looked real nice, and this is where he really ended it strong.
Yeah, this is probably, though, the only part of the run I thought he did better than O'Donnell. Lee had a little edge on him in terms of momentum, in terms of the air that he was getting, and I think the judges are reflecting that in the scores. It's an 18, so Lee O'Donnell still has the lead in that truck sponsored by Detroit radio station 106.7 The Fox. A whole bunch more freestyle coming up. Don't go away. The field of Monster Jam superstars. Drivers are getting strapped into these awesome machines, ready for their freestyle opportunity coming up here on Speed at Ford Field in Detroit. Early on, Lee O'Donnell has the lead. Our next competitor, one of the newest on the circuit, Steve Sims in pure adrenaline. He says he's confident for this big freestyle.
Now, freestyle I love. I've done a lot of big outdoor shows, and that we get these shots out in during racing, and we should see some big airs, some big high jumps. Slat wheelies, the truck does do a good slat wheelie, so freestyle, very comfortable with freestyle.
I like it. A newcomer who comes out and says what? He announces he's here. Hey, I'm ready to go. I like that. Get that RPM up, get the momentum up, get the noise up, and attack something right off the bat. Sims certainly did that.
You could hear in his voice, he has a lot of confidence. This floor is not intimidating him at all.
And it's understandable that the racing may have been a little tough for him because he hasn't run on these type of courses, but you can see he has hit some big obstacles before, so he is going to be more confident for freestyle.
Again, a rear engine design truck. The motor back there behind the driver, center steer. Kind of just walking over that big stack. I mean, he could have aired it out there, but he might be saving something for a little bit later. Oh, nice.
Poor Carl Van Horn is coughing and gagging in there right now at C-Max.
He just slung it right into that donut, too, man. He didn't check up.
Steve Sims resurrecting the name that Randy Brown made famous years ago, Pure Adrenaline.
Oh, he just popped that right rear tire. The whole truck landed on that right rear, so it knocked it off the bead.
He'll continue on, though. As you can see on the clock, he's got 15 seconds to fill to make it officially a full run.
If he can, he wants to make right-hand turns now, take a little bit of weight off of that, and they might shut him down out there.
Yeah, that's technically out of bounds. He went off the dirt, so at that point, the Monster Jam officials who have remote control radios that can shut off an engine should a truck get in trouble. I believe they made the call to shut him down once he left the course.
Nice job here. I mean, the overall freestyle show was a good job. He could have gotten a little more aggressive there on that big stack. And then, of course, he popped that right rear tire off a little bit later.
His speed debut, a good one in freestyle. The scores will be a 19 for Steve Sims and Pure Adrenaline. Well, coming up next, the truck that's always fun to watch freestyle, Blacksmith, Aaron Basil driving it. He says he's got a good strategy.
I go out there and I hit some of the obstacles and try and get a feel of what the truck's going to do, and then just try and build up from there. And just for the most part, I really don't have a plan when I go out there, because once you hit your first jump, it changes.
Some will tell you that it's probably better not to have a plan, although I think the most successful freestylers really do have at least a basic layout of where they want to go and what they want to do, because now the judges are looking for certain things, Kim, and if you don't hit everything, if you don't get some unique moves in, you're not going to get the big score.
Starts off there with a donut. I do agree with you, by the way, Scott. I don't know if they know what direction they're going to hit it, but I think they do look at the obstacles and think to themselves, hey, I need to hit this one this way. I want to try to do this over this one. I think you're right. A basic plan is necessary.
Only problem for Blacksmith on the sense of donuts is when you start doing moves that have been seen before, you need to try and outshine, and I really don't think those are the best donuts we've seen.
Well, he did do them on both ends of the floor, so he's trying to take care of the fans, but he needs to get a little more aggressive over these stacks.
He's got plenty of time to do just that. The Blacksmith, a very familiar truck to Monster Jam fans from some great runs at the World Finals when Pablo Huffaker has actually gotten out of his Team Gravedigger truck and into the Blacksmith, and boy, some memorable moments on some of those World Finals DVDs that we watch all the time, yeah.
A little better job there. I've got to say, though, I think Lee O'Donnell is still safe with that lead inside of the Fox truck, which, when you look back at it, was a pretty solid effort, and he's hanging on here.
Yeah, you got to give Lee a lot of credit. Come out, there's a lot of pressure going last, but there's also pressure going first to kind of set the bar, and then the judges have to start to get a feel for how they're going to score. You're right, I think Lee O'Donnell stays sitting into that hot seat. The leader of freestyle sits in the hot seat until somebody knocks him out. Right now it's O'Donnell, and I don't think he's going anywhere for a while.
Another set of donuts. I mean, he is the donut king so far here tonight. 3 different sets of them.
The Blacksmith, a 1941 Willys, always one of the most popular trucks at a pit party or whenever fans are around it. There's young Aaron Basil. These Basil guys, he and his brother Darren, have a big future. The score is a total of 19. So indeed, the 106.7, the Fox truck, with Lee O'Donnell, the driver, still in the #1 spot. Courtney Jolly brings out her new Pastrana 199 when we come back.